that the accused are a danger to the complainant, Ms. Malaza. In fact, Your Worship, it's just a complaint that does not belong to this court. It's a complaint that she talks about something that addressing the issue of another case where accused number one is a complainant and she's a suspect. So it does not belong to this particular court, and it should be addressed at the court where it belongs, Your Worship. In this case, I understand the prosecutor is trying to bring in issues that are of concern but have no substance. And that's my position.
I just want to understand the conduct of the accused. Is it endangering the safety of the witness by merely probably stating her name? Yes, you have indicated that there is a case open or existing where probably Mr. Mutwening could be the complainant and the said witness could be the respondent. But the conduct in itself, would you say that it endangers the safety of the said witness or not?
Your Worship, openly, when you're dealing with addressing journalists, they deal with issues of public interest. They do not endanger anybody. Now, journalists are responsible people. They will never put in issues that endanger somebody. And in this situation, Your Worship, the state is referring to professional people who have understand the principle of journalism at its best. Now, there is nothing that endangers the life of the complainant. Your Worship, I can safely say to you that since the beginning of this issue, the accused have behaved properly. They address journalists as the journalists request to be addressed by them. And they cannot hide certain things that journalists in the public interest want to know. And in that situation, Your Worship, if we curtail that, we will be going against freedom of speech and the freedom of press. The press has a responsibility to report to its readers or listeners, and the case of radio or TV audience. So those are acting responsible, Your Worship. And if there's something wrong, we've got the press ombuds to complain to. Your Worship, it has been brought to my attention that the accused is even surprised that he ever mentioned Malaza. Yes, he may have talked about Moho, which it may mean to the same person, but the issue of Malaza, Your Worship, the accused is surprised that he has ever mentioned that.
So in other words, the identity of the said person was not described. It can only be an inference that is drawn that when a particular name is mentioned, it therefore relates to the certain person.
Yes. Okay. Your Worship, this whole dispute, as we stand here, it is a dispute between family members. Yeah. That's the situation, Your Worship, before you. There is no threat to the complainant. And the only issue is that they want to extend the bail conditions. And Your Worship, they have to give a very good ground for that extension. As for now, there is none, Your Worship. Thank you.
No reference, according to the state, was made to this matter. The reference was made to the incident of the burning of the church, which is a matter that is not before this court. This court cannot amend bail conditions based on a matter that is happening in another court, and which the court has no facts of and cannot be able to comment under the circumstances. So I am of the view that the bail conditions, as indicated, they are sufficient enough to provide protection to the witnesses. Should there be a violation of the bail conditions, the state is fully aware that Section 68 will have to be applied, and his bail will have to be cancelled upon an application brought by the state. But at this stage, I don't have sufficient information that would lead me to draw the only reasonable conclusion to be that by mentioning Mrs. Malaza, then it meant indirect harm to the said witness. That by mentioning the issue of him owning firearms, it automatically means that he wants to harm her, or the intention was to try and harm the witness. I am of the view that based on the facts as presented before me, a conclusion cannot be drawn that the mentioning of the name or the firearm was intended to interfere or to influence or to endanger the safety of the said complainant. And as such, I will not grant the application by the state to amend the bail conditions at this stage.